from that band, everything that we did, it was this, and like I said, this is a war, and you're either with us or you're against us.
People have to come up and tell me, wow, Vincent, you guys were such an inspiration on me. I listened to you, and yeah, I really loved this, I really loved that. You helped me through school, or you helped me. I was having problems with my parents, or my job, this or something. It almost became like Morbid Angel was an escape, or a motivator for people to take charge of and improve their lives. There's not a better compliment than I can get than someone coming to me. I mean, just recently we were traveling abroad, and someone came up to me and said, you really helped me through school, and now I'm an attorney at a major law firm. That's the best news. That was the best gift that anybody could have given me, was to tell me that somehow our music was able to inspire someone and motivate someone and push someone through to achieve greater things. That's what the band's always been about. And so when I hear that, that's music to my ears.
They actually shot a video on the Blessed Are the Sick tour out in Riverside, California.
David and Trey, I don't know how they did it, but it was one video. David would get one video, it would be his choice. Trey would do the next video, David would do the next video, this, that, and the other thing.
The people who came up with the treatment, it seemed very close to some things that I had in my mind already.
We had an English director. Those two came up with the concept for the video, and I'm sure people have seen it or haven't seen it. It's, David getting dragged through the woods half the video.
We actually shot it in this particular forest in England. That was one that was historically a home to witches doing various and sundry things that witches do. The film crew thought that it would be interesting to try to bring that whole thing into it. So it's almost like in a dream state, and then things are happening, various things.
Rolling plasmograms, flames, and all sorts of wacky stuff.
Flesh mingling and being at one with the idea of that, and not be under the domination of Christian morals.
It was a little over the top, and it wasn't the four normal dudes standing around just banging away going, okay, here's our video. There was a concept. And the great thing about that band is they had the ideas of doing concepts and not just doing the straight-ahead performance ideas in the videos.
And there was a fire scene, and I would always kind of wondered how they would do that in the videos. And in this case, for one particular fire scene, I remember they had a little platform in front of the camera of a flaming can of Sterno or something, and they would shoot the video through the Sterno, and it looked great when you were looking at the screen. And I remember thinking that was kind of not exactly what I had imagined a Hollywood fire shot would look like.
It wasn't Michael Jackson, it wasn't Nirvana, and that's what was really booming at the time. Where we did get censored was with MTV, with the Blessed Are the Sick video, because you couldn't have the pentagram, blastogram rolling around in the screen, and they thought it was too sexual.
It wasn't a vulgar nudity, it was more of a pagan ritualistic nudity. Not that was really the high point of the message, but it all culminates.
It was kind of silly, because nowadays you look at some of the stuff on MTV, you have rolling pentagrams, you have basically people having sex on TV now.
I was very anti-Christian at the time. I still am. I'm anti any organized religion, but at the time it was, Christianity was right there in my face. They were the ones who were picketing our shows. They were the ones who were making it difficult for us to do business, so they were the enemy.
There was a lot of wacky letters and stuff like that. A lot of people, talking about Satanism and this, that, and the other thing, but nothing more than some kid's gonna write to piss off people.
I seem to recall there were some people that may have tried to protest, but our fans did a pretty good job of fighting those battles, for the band. We never really had to deal with it. And there were always people out there that would try to weaken the band, in one way or another. And David was pretty good about leading the charge, and not paying any attention to things that would try to weaken the band. So.
I had a talk with a few of them. I offered to put them on the guest list and see if they really, maybe they would change their mind. That was a waste of time.
In Texas, a lot, mostly in Texas. There's some in the Bible Belt, but there were a lot of protesters early on. I remember this guy Wes Weaver booked a bunch of shows for the Morbid guys. And they were on the NBC down in Corpus, and about how evil they were, and it's bad karma, and everyone's going to hell, and blah 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 blah.
There was really a lot of uprising in the Christian communities. They weren't happy about it at all. We had a number of our shows picketed around the United States. Not so much Europe. Europe has always been more progressive about this sort of thing, but definitely around the States.
And it was kind of funny. You just kind of laugh at it, going, okay, next. It's like no one's killing a goat here. Just relax, And it's just music. They did the same thing to Elvis.
We had picket lines. That they weren't interested in the imagery that we had to offer, which I wasn't interested in their imagery, but the difference is that I didn't picket their churches, but they felt it necessary to come and voice their disapproval.
As far as letters, we just got kids that would be like, hey, look, I bleed too.
People are the most adamant about their beliefs are the ones who are satisfied with them, and they can walk through life and they can be who they want to be. The people who seem so insecure about their beliefs have to try to beat it into other people. Very different thing. Difficult thing for me to understand how Christians have to be so pushy with their beliefs. I guess there's strength in numbers, but I've never been interested in such silliness. I think it's really silly.
Prior to Blessed, we had some problems. We had the Abomination shirt, which I'm sure most everybody had seen, and then we had the Thy Kingdom Come shirt, the Three Crosses shirt. So there were a couple people down south that were a little bit like, I don't know if I want to print that, a little bit like that. But not really, no problems. With the layout of Blessed was the artwork from the Belgian artist, and then we had a bunch of woodcuts and stuff like that. We did a lot of stuff with the woodcuts because it was really hard to get the Blessed Are the Sick album cover because of all the oranges and the colors they bleed. It was hard to print it. It was unbelievably hard to print it. Most of the merchandise that we did were based on the woodcuts and just some past artwork that we had. And it was not really too in-depth. We used the Three Crosses a lot, and we pulled out the Abominations once in a while because that's, it's over the top.
I wear it in the office, but only on Fridays. This is actually my tour shirt. I love that tour so much, I still have the shirt, the Blessed Are the Sick shirt, the Blessed Are the Sick tour.
Once we got more towards the end of the cycle of the record, we signed a merchandising deal with Giant Records. Well, not Giant Records, Giant Merchandise. And we wanted to do an all-over print. Now, the all-over print was one of the woodcuts with the logo on the front, the blasphogram on the back, and it was cool. It was really cool. It sold a lot of those things. And a great story that ties into that. We're flying place to place, and I was sitting next to Gunter, the band manager, and we're sitting on the plane, and our record company guy, our tour promoter, Daniel, has this shirt on. So on this plane, the head Catholic guy in all of Australia, a bunch of nuns, and us, and me and Gunter are sitting in the back of the plane, and Janeka gets up and walks to the front with this all over print on, and the look that